Ew, ew, big fish ish. Y'all know what it is. I don't know if y'all just saw my story, but I just decided I got to speak with God on this one because I was having a convo on the story with y'all, and it was based on the video that I put on my story that shows Japanese kindergarten gym classes and how advanced they are and how advanced the kids are as far as their coordination, athletic ability, and how they're developing at a much faster rate than a lot of our kids in America. And it got me thinking. It got me thinking that, for one, we call ourselves the greatest country in the world. And I believe it's good to take pride, obviously, in the place that you live to a certain extent. To a certain extent. Obviously, there's extremism in anything. But I think you should feel good about where you live. You should feel good about your country. I think that that's very important. But the pride should never become delusional. Our pride, in a lot of ways, I believe, has become delusional. When you look at the numbers as far as our rankings compared to the other countries in the world, we're not ranking like one across the board. In a lot of areas, it's not even close to being at the top of the list across the board. So that got me thinking. It's almost as if we are, and I think we should become very careful of becoming this if we haven't already become this, the Dallas Cowboys of the world. The Dallas Cowboys, and I started thinking about this. I'm like, okay, America's team. I'm like, damn, that sounds like something genius, but it sounds like something they branded themselves. They started to call themselves America's team. They knew they had the star on the helmet, and at a certain point, I believe they won back-to-back Super Bowls. They were very exciting, had an exciting coach, personalities that people were really intrigued by. So therefore, they developed and branded and marketed to where I believe the Dallas Cowboys franchise may be one of, if not the most, especially in America, the highest valued franchise in America, maybe one of the top franchises in the world. So, but they don't win games. that was they don't win Super Bowls, I should say, compared to a lot of other teams. And when I say they don't win Super Bowls, obviously there's some teams that have never won Super Bowls. But what I'm saying is the Dallas Cowboys have not won a Super Bowl in probably over 20 years. There's other teams that have more Super Bowl championships than the Dallas Cowboys. So why are the Dallas Cowboys America's team? Shouldn't, when I think about it, shouldn't the New England Patriots be America's team, just based on what they were able to do during that 20-something year stretch with Brady and Belichick? And I don't want to make it seem like it's just Brady and Belichick. They had some very amazing players and an amazing team, amazing leadership. They just had an amazing organization, and that's why they had the results that they had. So it got me thinking, comparing the Cowboys to the Patriots. Now, if we're the Cowboys, and I didn't even think about this aspect, if we're the Cowboys, who are the actual Patriots? If we're the Cowboys saying that, oh, well, because, we still have the greatest brand, even though we may not win games, but we make money, and we speak just based on us having this amazing brand. Meanwhile, I'm looking at it like, literally, what other country would be the Patriots? Would it be China? Would it be Russia? Would it be, I don't know. I'm thinking of some successful or powerful, however you want to determine it. I mean, what do you want me to throw in? Canada, Mexico? I don't know. What, countries across Israel, England. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some of the other European countries. I don't know. I'm sitting here wondering if we are the Cowboys, who's the Patriots? But more importantly, this seems to be on the macro level what happens on the microcosm level in our day-to-day lives, where we fall in love with the brand, where the team that wins does not matter. Winning does not matter. And how I see the winning, I almost see that as like the principles, morals, and values. That's out the window. All you have to do is create hype, create a show, be somebody that can be branded, be a company that can be branded, be well liked, and the other things don't even matter. That's kind of how I see it. Now, I know I'm doing a little bit of analogy work here, but I see it as, and maybe this is the idolatry. The idolatry, this is what happens when you idolize people and celebrities rather than idolizing morals, principles, and values. You come in, and when we do that, we end up just rooting for the player, rooting for the politician, rooting for the team, rooting for the group, the company. And then we excuse and deprioritize the principles, morals, and values. That's the winning in this analogy that I'm drawing. That's the winning. But we push that to the side in favor of all the things that at the end of the day don't matter. And when I say don't matter, for any competitor, there's winning and then there's losing, right? Either you won or you lost. Now you can have some moral victories with the losses and you can say, hey, we've been competing at a high level. A real competitor, either you win or you lost. And I understand the lessons that come with losses and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, did we accomplish our goal or did we not? It's very black and white, at least for the competitors that I see that are competing at a high level. It's very black and white, even though, of course, you're going to get game and lessons from the losses. But what I'm trying to say is that we've become, we excuse the losses so much and we excuse the principles, morals, and values so much, or we push them to the side so much that we find ourselves just sitting here, maybe being the laughing stock of the world, how the Cowboys, in a lot of ways, can become the laughing stock of the NFL. When you hear somebody say, well, America's team, maybe it's appropriate. Maybe the Dallas Cowboys are America's team because they are the most American team. A country that has amazing branding. A lot of people want to come because it's going to get a lot of attention, a lot of stardom, can create celebrities. But at the end of the day, it's more about the branding rather than the results and the productivity. Because there's a lot of other teams that, like I said, like the Patriots, the Giants, maybe the 49ers, maybe the Kansas City Chiefs. When you look at a lot of these other successful teams, way more successful than the Cowboys, even a team like the Seahawks. I mean, all of this is the fact that it's debatable, but then was not debatable is the branding aspect of it with the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. The Cowboys very rarely play away games. Even when they go to an away game, they still got a lot of fans that are coming to see them play. So that's neither here nor there. But I just was having these thoughts. I'm like, yo, just like America shouldn't become the Cowboys, in my opinion, maybe that is a reflection of the culture that we live in. And if that is the culture that we live in, I'm always looking at it as far as how is the culture impacting the majority of our mindsets. And in my opinion, we've lost touch as far as the things that we should prioritize. The substance, the integrity, the principles, morals, and values. An excuse for the people that just make money. The careers that just make money. The decisions that are led by money instead of purpose and integrity. That's what we prioritize. That's what we're okay with. We have no problem if somebody does those things. We'll continue to support them. It doesn't matter to us. And then we have somebody else who could be principled, winning, but it's not as sexy, it's not as cool, so therefore we're not going to follow it. So I don't even know where I'm going with this, to be totally honest, but if I could wrap it up, I would just say that just because we call ourselves the greatest does not mean we are. There actually has to be some productivity and results behind it. And when we get caught up in excusing the productivity and the results for the fame and the money, then a lot of times we can be misled. And a lot of times our culture can be misled, and then we begin to idolize the wrong people, the people that are making decisions just for money based instead of what advances society. And then we end up in these cycles that just have us crashing out in various areas of our lives. America, or the Dallas Cowboys, I should say, being called America's team, maybe that shows a lot about what American culture values, what Americans value. Because in all actuality, like I said, if the Dallas Cowboys are America's team, well, maybe we need to study from the Patriots a little bit more. Because the Patriots are the ones that had the dynasty, that won, that had the leadership, that people went to and were able to adjust their previous standards or their previous ways of conducting themselves in order to abide by the Patriots way, because they believed that it was a winning culture and it had the proof, it had the results to prove it. So let's not get caught up in this as individuals. Let's always make sure that we're prioritizing the things that really matter, the principles, the morals, the values, the productivity, the results, rather than the glitz, the glamour, the fame, and the money. So that's kind of where I am with it. That's where I am with it. Choose the people that you look up to very carefully. And I was going to say choose your idols carefully. But my mindset on the idols is never idolize an individual more than you idolize who you can become. I hope that makes sense to a lot of y'all. Never idolize anybody else more than you idolize who you can become. And I'll leave it at that. Ew.